I didn't know what was wrong with me for a long time. I felt it every day, the weight in my chest when I thought about them, the way certain songs could undo me without warning, the exhaustion of carrying something I couldn't name, but I kept circling back to the same thought. This doesn't make sense. They're still here. They're still alive. So why does this feel exactly like grief? I'm not going to name exactly what it was. You'll recognize it when it applies to you. Maybe it's a person who slowly became someone you didn't recognize. Maybe it's a relationship that was still technically present, messages still coming, birthdays still acknowledged, but it emptied out from the inside. Maybe it's someone who was physically there, showing up, answering, existing in the same rooms as you, but completely, unreachably gone. Whatever it was, you know the feeling I'm describing. The person is alive, and somehow you are grieving them. And then comes the guilt. Because how do you grieve someone who is still breathing? How do you mourn the loss of a person who hasn't gone anywhere? It feels like a betrayal. It feels dramatic. It feels like something is wrong with you. Like you're catastrophizing. Like you're being unfair. Like you should just be grateful they're still here at all. So you push it down. You tell yourself, this isn't real loss. Real loss looks different. Real loss has a clear ending. But the ache doesn't go away. Because it is real loss. It just doesn't look like what we've been taught loss should look like. Looking back, I can see the grief in everything I was doing. The way I kept searching their face for someone who wasn't there anymore. The way I replayed old memories. Not because I was nostalgic, but because I was trying to find the exact moment when they stopped being who I thought they were. The way I started grieving in advance, mourning the future we would never have, the version of them I had loved, the version of us that had existed before something shifted. I was grieving. I just didn't have permission to call it that. There's a term for this. Psychologists call it ambiguous loss. Grief without death. Loss without closure. Mourning someone who is still present in body, but absent in the ways that mattered most to you. It's one of the most disorienting forms of grief because there is no ritual for it. No funeral, no casseroles from neighbors, no one saying, "I'm so sorry for your loss," because from the outside, nothing has been lost. They're still here, but you know what's missing. And you have been carrying that knowledge alone. What makes ambiguous loss so difficult is that it asks you to hold two truths at the same time. The person is still here, and the person you loved is gone. Both are true, and they don't cancel each other out. You can't close the chapter because the chapter keeps going. You can't fully mourn because they're still in your life, or in your phone, or in your family, or showing up in places you can't avoid. You're asked to grieve something without ever being allowed to put it down. And that is an enormous thing to carry. What I eventually had to accept, and it took longer than I want to admit was that grief doesn't need death to be real. That mourning the living is still mourning. That my loss was valid even without a death certificate, even without a clear ending, even without anyone else understanding what I was going through. I had loved someone. That version of them, the one I had built a world around, was no longer there, and I was allowed to grieve that. Not to punish them, not to stay stuck, not to make it mean something it didn't need to mean, but because love asks us to feel the full weight of what we lose. And I had been refusing to feel it because I didn't think I had permission. I gave myself permission. I don't know what it looks like for you. Maybe the person changed. Maybe the relationship did. Maybe you stayed in something too long, and by the time you left, or by the time they left, the grief had already been living inside you for years. Whatever it is, you are allowed to name it as loss. You are allowed to mourn it even while they are still alive, even while life goes on, even while no one else understands why you're still carrying it. Grief doesn't require an ending. It only requires love, and something that is no longer the same. If you've been carrying this, if something in this landed, you don't have to keep explaining it to people who haven't been inside it. There's a reflection on gentle rivers that sits with a different kind of ache. What grief feels like when it comes back during healing. The link is below.